for nothing because I'm not going anywhere. But I'll be doing my makeup and maybe my hair while I go over the answers to the first 5 questions of the 15 introspective questions that I talked about in my video a couple weeks ago. If you're unfamiliar, this space is Grow Gently with Me, where we grow together at an intentional pace with ASMR instead of overstimulation. I softly speak about personal growth, self-directed learning, introspection, and vulnerability. And our little community of commenters has grown after my last video. So I hope you can continue to provide care and understanding to each other. You're doing your best in this moment, and whatever that looks like, it's enough. So let's talk about what my best looks like in this moment right now, because I am currently sick and I feel like trash. But after my last video got so many views and comments, I just really wanted to come on here and thank everybody. I feel like I'm always thanking everybody, but it's true. I'm really grateful. I didn't really think that anybody would watch my videos for like a pretty long time. That's kind of what I saw from like all of the like start your YouTube like channel like videos that I saw. And I just, yeah, I mean, I had a very clear vision in my head for what I wanted this channel to be. And it's something that I personally would want to see. And so it's so cool to see that at least one of my videos, right? Like it doesn't have to be all of them, but at least one of my videos has resonated with people. And I think that's so cool and very cute and kind of nerve-wracking, but it's lovely to see you all here, and thank you for being here with me. But yeah, so my best right now is on some ibuprofen and currently feeling like I want to sleep for 1,000 hours. But I just really wanted to thank everybody and then just go over the questions and answers for the answers that I had written, I don't know, in preparation for a video last week, but I just was not feeling up to my usual style of video, so that's why last week's was a little bit different. But let me stop doing this. I'll start doing layered sounds for you, and I will get my makeup set up. I've already done my skincare. I'm gonna get my notes over here too, so if I'm looking over here, that's why. But yeah, I've already done my skincare. And so I'm just gonna do my eyes. So whenever I feel like trash, I will either like take a nap and sleep for 1,000 hours, or I will just like make myself like feel better by like, you know, doing my makeup and stuff. I've talked about how doing my makeup is like really relaxing for me, so I just kind of go to that whenever I would like to relax. So I'm going to just put some foundation on my eyelids so that I can start doing my shadow. And because I have like mush brain right now, there might be a lot of edits in this video, which normally I try not to edit anything out just because I like the flow of like unedited things. I think it feels more natural to me. I think like highly edited videos definitely like serve a purpose, right? But I'm not trying to jam pack like information into like a 5-minute video for you. An intentional pace, remember? Let's go over the first question. I kind of already gave some of my answers in the video that I talked about these questions in, but I think it'd be worth it to go through them a little bit more like deliberately. So the first question is, how do the people closest to you describe you, and how would they never describe you? So I kind of just did like a bulleted list for this. And I really thought about, what do I want my loved ones to say to me, right? Because it's the people that are closest to you. So it's like, what do you want your friends to say about you? What do you want your loved ones to say about you? What do you want your family to say about you if you have family or your found family? And this was a question that I spent a lot of time on. Because it's not just like what they say about you, right? It's like they're saying these things about you because you do these things, or you act a certain way, or you treat them a certain way, right? And so I just was kind of just in that mindset. And again, I answered these questions about myself in 5 years. So some of my answers were passionate. I want them to see that I have passion for the things that I talk about, or the things that I'm working on, the things that, just like I'm creating. So I want that to be reflected in my conversations and my interactions with my loved ones. Normalizes vulnerability. This is something that I've really worked on the past year or so. I think that I'm the type of person who doesn't normally share my vulnerabilities, and I'd like to get better at that. Because I think that it provides when you do it, it provides the safe space for other people to do that as well. And I think that that's how you get closer, and that's how you get to know people a lot better. So like sharing things that like scare you, or that you think others might find stupid, right? Like just kind of sharing those thoughts and having other people share those thoughts with you, I think just really helps to like deepen your bond. And I would love to have that with the people I'm closest to, rather than like kind of like a superficial relationship. I don't have like that many friends, but that's also like very intentional because I'm trying to or I guess the way that I currently have friendships is that I put myself into a lot of my friendships and my relationships, and it's difficult for me to be like that with so many people. So I have a very intentional group of friends, but I also am like, you can be friends with more people. And it's okay if you're not that deep with everyone, right? And so I've opened myself up to that recently, over the past year as well. And so, yeah, it's a work in progress. So, yeah, in 5 years, I hope that people closest to me would say that I normalize vulnerability. Kind of a long-winded answer for that bullet point, but I want to give, yeah, my reasoning behind these answers as well, in the hopes that it can help you kind of figure out what how you want to be described and what type of person you want to be. So I also have candid on here, which I think is pretty similar to vulnerability. Where it's more just like honesty, right? Coming from a place of honesty. And I also have direct on here because I really admire directness, and I think a lot of my friends would say that I'm direct already, but don't like people like beating around the bush. And so I don't want to be that person. I also have warm on here. I have has healthy boundaries, because that's actually really important to me. I'm an introvert, and so I basically get a lot of my energy from like being by myself. And if I don't get that, then I become very drained and it does not feel great. And then I get very irritable. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. And so it's important to me to spend time with myself, make sure I'm taking care of myself in that way, and also responding to like peer pressure. Not that really like any of my friends do that, but maybe like some acquaintances would. And I just want to make sure that I continue to maintain like my values and things that I do and like don't want to do, you know? I think anybody who knows me and who is close to me would say that I don't do anything I don't want to do. So that's very important to me. I mean, except for like work, right? Like everybody has to, well, I don't know about everybody, but I have to work to live and survive, unfortunately. And even though I don't want to do it, I do. So sometimes we do what we must, but most of the time I don't do what what I don't want to do. So I do put those boundaries up, and I don't know, I think like assessing too whether like boundaries are healthy or unhealthy, whether they're like even like too closed off, right? Like, yes, people definitely talk about like having too open of boundaries. But what about too rigid, too closed? So I'm also trying to change that as well. So, you know, I think in 5 years' time, it would be great if I had fully healthy boundaries. I also have playful on here. I like to joke around. I love a good joke. And so, yeah, I think that I would still like the people around me to call me playful or to describe me as a playful person. I don't really know what I'm doing with my eyeshadow right now, but we're just gonna see where it goes, okay? I also have cool under pressure. I am definitely not cool under pressure. There is a study that I literally always bring up with my longtime partner, and actually, like, I really want to find it because I only learned about it in like one of my psychology classes in college, and I do not remember anything about it, and I could be getting the methods wrong, or like the conclusion even. Okay, so quick jump scare alert. So I looked this study up that I will talk about in a second here while I've been editing, and I conflated two different studies. One was about cockroaches, and one was about basketball. And I guess in my brain, I was like, yeah, the cockroaches play basketball, right? Anyway, I found a 2019 study that I'll link down below that kind of looked at all of these experiments on social facilitation, which is what these studies all looked at. So it's called social facilitation, and it can be defined as improvement in individual performance when working with others rather than alone. So typically, when a person is a novice to a task or the task is inherently complex, they will perform better when alone compared to when they're with other people. But when a person is an expert at a task or the task is inherently simple, the opposite tends to be true. And now you can listen to me talk about cockroaches playing basketball. But this study was a experiment with cockroaches, and there's two sets of cockroaches, but they're both playing a form of basketball. I guess they taught them how to like move this ball around or something. I don't know. This is also why I really want to look up this study. I should do that after this video. But there's a cockroach who has been rolling this ball around and like has done this, a bunch of times and kind of like knows what they're doing. And there's another cockroach who maybe is doing it for the first time and doesn't really know what they're doing. And so we'll call the one who knows what they're doing cockroach A, and then the one who doesn't cockroach B. So in this scenario, cockroach A is in front of a bunch of other cockroaches. I don't think they're paying attention because they're cockroaches, but think just the very fact that there's an audience is what the experiment is about. And so cockroach A is rolling this ball around and actually does even better than how they've previously performed. I'm just looking in the camera. So they're doing even better than they previously performed. And cockroach B is also in front of this audience and is doing even worse than previously performed. And so I always think about that, like when we know what we're doing, we do better. And when we don't know what we're doing, we do worse. And I don't know if this, experiment has been debunked or anything like that, but that's what I always think of. So whenever I'm under pressure, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And so I think that I do worse than I previously have. Or previously would, I guess, without like an audience. And so I would really like to get better at that. And I don't really know what the right way to like address that is, but I have 5 years, so I'll get to it eventually. I really like this color a lot. It's like a green color. I don't really wear it out that often, but I do really like it. I think I'm gonna put more on. So let's see, what else do I have on here? I have stand up for what's right. I really try to do that. I know that I've done that at like multiple jobs when I have called out people that we've interviewed. I guess I haven't called them out like directly, but I have called them out during meetings discussing the interviewee afterward for like racist comments, like, stuff that people would probably like gloss over, or just like ignore. And I have told CEOs that we should not hire them for those reasons, and given a bunch of different reasons. And so I like to think that I'm there, or I'm like where I want to be with standing up for what's right. Like at this moment, I think we can definitely always do more, right? To call out bullshit. But there's also like a time and a place for everything as well, right? I think there's a way to address it that will get the best outcome. And so I think in that bullet point, I want to stand up for what's right while also trying to get the best outcome. But I also have insightful, confident, makes everything more fun. One of my friends told me that I made everything more fun, and I was like, that's so nice. Just like, I don't know. Being that for someone. I really liked that, so yeah. I like being described that way. I have present, which I talked about kind of at length in that questions video. But yeah, just being present in the moment when I'm around people, and just make sure to like actively listen and like not be on my phone and stuff. It's really important to me. Empathetic leader is on here. Open-minded, because even though I have very strong opinions, if somebody provides like sound reasoning for something, I'm open-minded enough to change my mind, depending on what it is, and depending on what the evidence looks like, you know, their reasoning. I've done this multiple times because we don't know everything, right? I definitely don't know everything. And having people to provide like feedback in that way is something that I actually actively seek out. And I love being friends with people like that, who will provide that feedback to you. I also have genuine, strong, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I feel like right now I could not describe myself as any of those. But yeah, 5 years in the future me, like, damn, okay. Can't wait for that. But yeah, I think I have a lot of work to do in order to address that. I also have not easily riled up. I think this particularly applies to my long-term partner, who I've been with for like more than 15 years. And we have like so much history together that I think at this point both of us are just like able to really like get on each other's nerves. We know like what buttons to push, right? And so I just don't want to be that riled up. He's way better at not being riled up than I am. Very, what I would describe, very calm person. And yeah, I admire him in a lot of ways for the way that he like approaches conversations and yeah, stays very calm. But I do like to yell, so even like if I'm just like excited about something. So if I'm like passionate about anything, I'm just like, my voice is immediately raised. So I don't know how able I would be to kind of like change the riled up aspect of my personality, but definitely seems a lot easier to do with other people than him. So it'd be nice if I could translate that into our dynamic as well. So I think that's it for how the people closest to me would describe me in 5 years. And so let's go over how would people never describe me. Jealous. I would like to not be jealous. I think that I'm not very jealous right now. But I mean, there definitely are some things like in just like my like romantic relationships, I guess. There are some things that I do like get jealous of, I guess, but like I think most of the time I just need like reassurance. Like, oh, that person's like gonna take away my partner's love for me or something, you know? Like it's never like that. But yeah, I think I just need to work on asking for that reassurance and just like getting that reassurance. That's kind of cute. Okay, okay. I don't hate it. I really like these greens. Green's my favorite color, if you didn't know. All of my friends definitely know. Anybody who knows me would definitely know that green's my favorite color. But yeah, so I definitely wouldn't want the people around me to describe me as a jealous person. Extroverted. Nobody would ever describe me as extroverted. At least the people who know me. I think I can come across as extroverted, like at parties or like out and about sometimes. But I don't think anybody would describe me as extroverted. Boring. I don't think that anybody would describe me as boring. I could be wrong. But I definitely wouldn't want people to describe me as boring because I don't think I am. Indiscreet. I don't think that anybody would describe me as indiscreet. I think that I have a million secrets that I'm keeping for all of my friends and myself. Or it's just like things that I just like don't bring up or don't say, you know? And I would never I mean, I can't say like never. I always struggle with like always or never. But I think that it's very rare for me to like spill anybody's secrets, especially if I've told them that I would not tell anybody. So I don't think anybody would describe me as indiscreet. Disrespectful. I think that I'm pretty respectful, but it could be something to work on. And I wouldn't really want anybody to describe me as disrespectful. At least for like the people around me, like disrespectful of authority, I'm fine with that. But like disrespectful of like my friends' feelings or, you know, like, yeah, I guess just like the feelings of like the people I love, like I just would never want that. Unethical, cruel, fearful. I don't really want people to describe me as fearful. I don't think I'll ever be like fearless, right? Like I don't think anybody would describe me as fearless because I think that I'm like pretty rational and I like always like weigh pros and cons of doing things before I make a decision. So I wouldn't say that I'm fearless. And I don't think people would describe me as fearless, but I don't want people to describe me as fearful. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but we'll figure it out. An open book. I don't think that anybody can describe me as being an open book. Okay, so the next question is, what types of descriptors are you okay with people saying about you? So for this question, I really thought about like, what are the types of words, like adjectives, that people could call me that I would just brush off? Or that I would like to be able to brush off in, 5 years' time. And some of the things that I came up with are stupid. I really dislike being called stupid, but I think that I would really like to be able to brush that off. Because I think that for me, it's like when people call me stupid, they're just like confirming like something that I insecurely like think about myself. And like I don't think that I'm stupid, right? But I like feel stupid sometimes. And I don't like it when people call me stupid because I'm insecure about it, And so I fucking want to get over that. So that's something to work on over the next 5 years. I've got secretive. I'm okay if people call me secretive. Gullible. I have been called gullible my whole life. And I think it's part of being like open-minded and like wanting to like trust people, right? And so I'm okay if people call me gullible, currently, even. Cold. I think that it would be okay if people call me cold, especially like if I'm maintaining like my boundaries or if I'm trying to be less like outwardly emotional. Glib. I think that that kind of comes along with, like cracking jokes and stuff, that people can call you glib, like you're not taking it seriously. You're not, you don't have enough reverence, I guess, for the situation at hand. But sometimes things are funny and you have to bring them up. And especially in like serious situations, sometimes it helps to lighten the mood too. And other people are normally grateful for that if they're like too in their heads. Loud. I'm okay if people call me loud. I have been called loud my entire life. Cringe. I think this is so funny. Like, just like being called cringe is like funny to me. Because everybody's like cringe is like different too. Like, I don't know. Buzzkill, I think, especially in like peer pressure like types of situations. Like you can be accused of like not wanting to have fun or whatever, and like I'm okay with that. Like I'm not gonna do things that I don't want to do, and if you are going to call me buzzkill, like that's totally fine. Abrasive, I think that that kind of pairs with like candidness and like directness, that sometimes people can think that you're abrasive. Selfish, I think that this also kind of goes hand in hand with like having healthy boundaries and not doing things that you don't want to do. Weak, I would like to be okay with being called weak and being able to brush that off. Rude, I have a hard time with this one because I never want to be rude, but the things that I do and want to do, right? Like being direct, having healthy boundaries, like I think can come across as rude. And I just want to be okay with being called rude. Because right now, if anybody calls me rude, I'm just like, no, I'm not rude. But like, it doesn't matter. They can call me rude if they want to, right? As long as like I know my intentions, right? And yeah, especially if it's like somebody who doesn't know me very well is calling me rude, like I want to be able to like brush that off. Let's go to the next question. This one's pretty short. What kind of first impression do you give off? So when I think about myself like 5 years in the future, I think I'm gonna do my foundation actually. I think I'm done with the eyeshadow for now. When I think about myself 5 years in the future, I'm like, what does that look like? You know, like what type of person who has like all these other like quality descriptors that I gave, right? Like, what does that person look like when you first meet them? And so I think I only came up with like 3 things. But I have intimidating. Because many people have called me intimidating. And so I kind of already know that that's what a first impression is, and I don't think that'll change too much in 5 years. It could. Yeah, I think intimidating is up there. Then I also have calm. I don't know if anybody could describe me as calm from like a first impression, but I think I would like that. And then I also put together. So like if anybody's meeting with me for the first time in 5 years, they would think that I am intimidating, calm, and put together. So that's what I came up with. And then the next question is, what are you proud of? I'm not like super proud of like a lot of things that I've done, like necessarily. Like there are definitely like some big things, right? Like I moved to a whole country, like a whole nother country across the ocean, like all by myself. Like I'm really proud that I was able to do that. And yeah, if you don't know, I think I went over this in my last Get Ready with Me video, but I moved to Korea for a couple of years. all by myself and I didn't know the language. And so I'm really proud that I was able to do that. And I had never like gone outside of the country before. I never lived anywhere outside of my state. Yeah, so I was pretty proud of myself for doing that. But I wouldn't say that I'm like proud of very many things that I've done in my life. So this question was kind of difficult for me, but once I started, it was like easy to keep going. So some of the things that I have on here are I'm proud of the art I've created. So again, this is like 5 years in the future, right? I am proud of the art that I have created so far in my life as well. But yeah, I'd like to create more art and be proud of that too. I also have, I'm proud of going after what I want. Because sometimes I don't. And the way that I live my life is without regrets, because I know that whatever I did at the time was using the information that I had and doing what was best for me at that time. But there are definitely things that I wish I had been prepared to take a risk for. And so I'd like to be proud of that in 5 years' time. Yeah, for going after what I want. I would like to be proud of my partner or partners accomplishing things that make them happy. I'd like to be proud of my reduction in waste. One of my dreams, which I don't know how like far off it is, might be like an absolute dream versus something that I think I could make a reality, but is to kind of live like self-sustainably, like have a farm or like an earth ship, if you've ever heard of those. I'll link information down, but basically it's like a house that is self-sustainable. Like all the water is like reused and like filtered and stuff. It's very, very cool. And it's like built like into the earth. So it's like warmed and cooled by the sun and the earth. Just, I love that idea. Yeah, I'd like to live more self-sustainably. But yeah, 5 years time reduction in waste I think is doable. I would also like to be proud of learning to argue in a constructive way. I think again this is mostly in regard to like me and my longtime partner, but I think with other people too, I think it would be nice to be able to like have a discussion or like argue in a more constructive way. Oh no. Everything's falling. Okay. We're fine. I just wanted this. My desk is a mess, by the way. So shout out to the people with messy desks out there right now. What else do I have? I have taking care of myself. I'd like to be proud that I have continued to take care of myself. I think that that can be really difficult depending on, you know, your mental state. So we'll see what that looks like in 5 years, but that's what I would like to be proud of. I'd like to be proud of the life that I've built with my partner or partners. And that's one that's happy, healthy, loving, safe, and secure. I'd like to be proud of the care that I provide my animals. Right now I only have 2 cats, but I would love to have more. I would love to have so many animals. And I'd like to be proud of taking care of them, you know, in the best way that I can, and having the resources to do so. I'd like to be proud of my commitment to healthy boundaries. What am I doing? I am doing my powder. I'd like to be proud of paying off my debts. Okay, so when I got my first like real job after coming back to the US from being in South Korea for 2 years, I was like, oh, what are credit cards? Having like zero financial literacy. Like, ooh, credit cards. This seems like free money. So I opened up a bunch of credit cards and proceeded to rack up a bunch of debt and paid off some of it, and then lost my job and got into more debt and paid off some of that, but I'm still in debt and it's annoying. So if anybody can relate, I feel for you, and that sucks, and I hope you can't relate. But you know, 5 years, we're making it out, okay? That's what I envision for my future self. Who is me? And then the last thing is I'd like to be proud of the volunteer work that I do. I've reached out to a couple organizations in my area, but I haven't heard back, so I think I need to just like reach out again. I don't know. But, you know, I'm sure people are busy too. So we'll see how that pans out. I'd like to get started on some volunteer work now. Doing things, you know, that I talked about in my last video with like mutual aid and, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll have to see like what the best way to like contact people is, but yeah, maybe what I did wasn't what's necessary. I don't know. And let's do the last question. Oh my God. What is it like to exist within your body? So this is another like question that I had to kind of like visualize, and like, what do I want my body to feel like? What is it like to live within my body? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What are the emotions that I want to feel? Like, what can I do with my body? So some of the things that I came up with were pain-free, I've talked about like going to physical therapy in the past and doing my physical therapy exercises. And I've been like keeping up with them for the most part. But I mean, my body's still in pain like every day. So it's all a process. I also have endo, which is endometriosis, which there's a whole host of like symptoms with, but mostly kind of like painful periods. And I have an IUD that manages a lot of that. So I'm very grateful that I'm not one of those people that can't handle an IUD because of the pain in order to like I was gonna say install it, but like insert it, I guess. Implant it. But yeah, it's like uncomfortable for sure. That procedure for me, but yeah, it's not like unbearable, which I know it is for some people. Like one of my friends had to do it while being sedated for like another procedure, unfortunately. But yeah, mine has helped me so much, so I am grateful for that every single day. It's like one of the things that I think about, like that and like my glasses for like an apocalypse. One of the things, one of the descriptors that is not in, that was not captured, I guess, in these questions and answers, is that I'm a very morbid person. But I think a lot of like funny people are. Not that I would, I mean, okay, I would like to consider myself a funny person, but I think the people who crack jokes, a lot of them are like morbid or have like, you know, like a dark history. And I would like to keep laughing in the face of, you know, the shit that I've been through. So, anyway, yeah, so it's like my IUD and like my glasses are the things that I like think about. I'm like, damn. Like it would not be good if an actual apocalypse happened. I would be pretty much useless. But yeah, so anyway, I have endo and just like tension, you know, like upper back tension and stuff that comes with sitting at a computer. And so I would just like to have that pain managed a lot more than I currently do. Managed and like addressed. Where like I don't really like to take like painkillers or anything like that. Like I would just like to live, you know? Live pain-free without having to do all that. I look okay, right? Right? So pain-free. Then I also have my body feels powerful. It can do everything I want it to. I would love to feel like that. One of the things that I think about when I think about living self-sustainably is like being like farmer strong or whatever, you know? So I would really like to be like farmer strong. I want to lift a hay bale, damn it. What else do I have? I have feels nourished. I think that that's really important to me. I have been trying to eat like more like whole foods, less processed things recently. I don't know, all this like talk about, you know, like ultra high processed foods and like microplastics and stuff. I'm just like, can we just live? That would be cool. That would be really cool if I could just like live and not have to worry about that kind of stuff. But I think like we can only do what we can do, right? And so one of the things that I am doing is trying to eat more like whole, like vegetables and fruits, and you know, just things that are less processed. And I found that I have felt a lot better since kind of like making that like slow switch over. But yeah, I mean, I still sometimes eat like processed foods. Like I had like a soda yesterday. Because like we're all gonna die anyway, and like I like soda sometimes. Let's see, I think I want to do the rest of my eyeshadow like under my eyes. Let me open up my palette again. So I also have feels like ease. Like I want my body to feel like ease, feel easy, like it's easy to live within my body. I also have feels peaceful. So I think when I think about like living in my body, I also think about my brain, you know, like I would love to feel peaceful. And then the last thing I have is every scar is a record of my life. I've always thought scars were cool. And so like I know like every story behind all of the scars that I have on my body, and I feel kind of like you know, like when you like see a like cross section of like a tree, right, where they have like all those rings. It's like, oh, you can kind of tell like what life they lead or what life they led. And I want to be like a cross section of a tree. I just love that. Like, yeah, you can see like what my body has done, you know? I got my gallbladder taken out. I got attacked by my own cat because she was so scared. Like, I cut myself shaving for the first time. I got chicken pox when I was a kid, you know? Like, all of my scars have a story, and I think it also like helps me with my desire for like perfection, right? And so like being able to acknowledge the lack of perfection as perfection I think has been like important for me to like come to terms with. But yeah, that's all of the questions and answers that I have. I'll be doing the next 5 next week. Hopefully. If I don't get like even more sick. But the next 5 questions are how do you handle conflict both within and with others? I have a feeling I'm going to be thinking about that question for a long time. How do you make those closest to you feel? What do you prioritize? And again, for me, this is 5 years in the future, but it could be a different time period for you if you wanted it to be. What does your support system look like? And what do your living situation and surrounding community look like? So we'll see if I get all of those questions answered before my next video. If not, I'll do something in between again, like I did last time. Not that I didn't have the questions answered, but there was an interim video. But yeah, now I'm just finishing up my makeup. I'm curious to know if anybody did this exercise with me. I think I previously said this, but I mean, it's really for me. But I thought I would share it if other people wanted to, you know, think about themselves in the future and kind of figure out what they want to aim for. I think it's important to like establish your baseline. So who are you as a person now? And then what type of person do you want to be in the future? Because if you don't really know those answers, then you can be like aimless or less focused on changing those things about yourself that you want to change or hone, right? Like even if you don't want to like change anything about yourself, if you want to get better at something, it's good to know what you want to get better at. But I think it's also important to note that you are a human that will make mistakes, and even if you don't address all of your like faults, right? Like that, those are things that make you you. And if you were perfect, then you wouldn't be you, you know? Everybody has faults. And I think that's beautiful. Oh, what am I going to do next? I think I'm going to do my lipstick. Oh no, that one hurts. It's like really short and also dirty. But it's like, it's one of those wooden ones, so when it gets like really short, it just like pokes you. Like the wood around the like pigment itself, like pokes you. And is not comfortable. Do I have another lip liner? No, I don't. I don't have one out right now, so I'm just gonna put it on. Did you think you were going to watch me put my lipstick on for 30 seconds today? Probably not. Thank you for being here. Gotta check for lipstick on the teeth. Because none of you can tell me if there's lipstick on my teeth so that I can fix it right away, you know? I think that's it. I think I'll try to do my hair. I don't know. I really had this idea of like buns, but I don't know if I can make it happen. Yeah, share with me if you've done this exercise with me. I think that'd be really cute to know. And I'd like to know what future selves to be like. What are you gonna lean into? What are you gonna try to change? That's kind of cute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear about like other people's like personal growth journeys and like what they focus on versus like what I focus on, you know? But yeah, thanks for being here, and oh my god. So wild to see like the numbers climb for that last video. No, it's too low. We're gonna try again. Ugh. But yeah, I did tell Squirt about all of her adoring fans. I don't think she really knew what I was talking about. But that's okay. But yeah, I appreciate all of you for being here. And even if nobody came back for this video, that's okay. I'm glad that I'm glad that my last video could make the impact that it did. Because I've said this like multiple times again, but I'm not really here for like subscribers or that's kind of cute. I'm not really here for like subscribers or views or to like sell you stuff. Though, you know, like when I was looking up YouTube, that was one of the things that I did like consider, but I'm currently doing this as like a hobby and to kind of like build a community, right? And so yeah, that's my goal for now. But yeah. Thanks so much for being here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, and I will see you next week. Bye.